The magician does not fear limits, he welcomes them. He sees them not as prison walls, but as the edges of a sacred playground. Within this space, he is free to create, to play, to discover. He knows a profound secret. True magic needs a container, it needs a shape. Without form, energy is just chaos. It is a wild wand with nowhere to go. The magician understands that the lines we draw, the rules we accept, and the structures we build are the very things that allow magic to take root and blossom. He invites us to look at our own lives in this way. Think of a blank canvas. It is a field of infinite possibility, but it is also nothing. An artist must choose a color, they must make a mark. Each choice is a limitation. It closes off other possibilities. Yet it is only through these choices, these self-imposed limits, that a masterpiece can emerge. The magician is this artist of life. He knows that to create something beautiful, you must first define the space. He shows us that our perceived restrictions are not endings. They are the beginnings of a focused, intentional, and powerful creative act. Your life is this canvas. This is a deep shift in perspective. We are often taught to fight against our limits. We're told to break free, to have no boundaries, to be limitless. But the magician smiles at this idea. He knows that a bird cannot fly without the resistance of the air. A seed cannot grow without the pressure of the earth around it. The universe itself is built on laws, on principles, on elegant and unbreakable structures. These are not punishments. They are the architecture of existence. They are the grammar of the cosmos, allowing for the poetry of stars, planets, and human consciousness to be written. So, let us begin this journey with the magician. Let us learn to see the boundaries of our lives not as cages, but as chalices. A chalice is a beautiful thing. It is designed to hold something precious. Your challenges, your circumstances, your very body, these are all containers. They are vessels designed to hold the potent, sparkling wine of your unique genius. The magician's first lesson is one of acceptance. He asks us to honor the shape of our own cup, for only then can we discover the magic it is meant to contain and to share with the world. Not all limits are created equal. The magician is wise. He knows how to tell the difference between a wall that suffocates and a wall that supports. Some limitations are born of fear. They are rigid, controlling, and designed to stifle the human spirit. Think of the suffocating rules of a dogmatic religion that punishes curiosity. Think of a school system that values obedience over creativity, forcing every unique mind into the same narrow box. These are the deadening limits. They are cages built by others, often to maintain power. They drain life, they crush wonder. These are the limitations we must question. The magician is a rebel in this regard. He uses his creative fire to dissolve these false boundaries. He sees through the illusion that we must conform to systems that do not honor our inner truth. He does not fight them with anger, for that only strengthens their walls. Instead, he finds the cracks. He plants seeds of new ideas. He dances around the rules, showing others that a different way is possible. He knows that a limitation born of fear cannot withstand the gentle, persistent pressure of love and authentic self-expression. Then there are the sacred structures. These are the limits that nurture life, and they are the banks of a river guiding the water on its powerful journey to the sea. Without its banks, the river would be a swamp, stagnant and diffuse. The banks give it direction, speed, and purpose. Think of the fretboard of a guitar. The frets are limitations, telling the musician exactly where to place their fingers. But these limits do not restrict the music, they make it possible. They create the system of notes from which infinite melodies can be born. This is a helpful structure. The magician teaches us to feel the difference in our bodies. A fear-based limitation feels heavy, draining, and dead. It makes your shoulders slump and your breath shorten. A sacred structure, however, feels supportive. It feels like the strong trellis that a vine can climb towards the sun. It gives you a sense of safety and direction, freeing up your energy to focus on growth and creation. A scientist's laboratory, with its precise methods and protocols, is a sacred container. It allows for repeatable, reliable discoveries to be made. Our task is to become discerning, like the magician, and choose the structures that serve life. The first step toward true transformation is always acceptance. Before you can work with a limit, you must first acknowledge it. You must see it for what it is. The magician does not waste his energy wishing the river had no banks. He does not curse the sky for having a horizon. He accepts the reality of his situation with a calm and open heart. This is not resignation. It is not giving up. It is a powerful act of presence. It is the grounding force that allows magic to begin. Resisting reality is like trying to push a mountain. It only exhausts you. Accepting your limits is like a deep exhale. It is the moment you stop fighting and start flowing. Imagine a baby in the womb. The womb is a profound limitation. It is a small, dark and confined space, yet it is the perfect container for creation. It provides everything the baby needs to grow, to develop, to become. The baby does not fight the walls of the womb. It surrenders to them. It trusts the process. This surrender is the key. When we accept our own wombs, our financial situations, our physical abilities, our current circumstances, we stop wasting precious energy and start gathering our strength for the transformation that is to come. This acceptance is an act of profound self-love. It is saying to yourself, this is where I am right now, and that is okay. It is a gentle embrace of your own humanity. So often we are at war with ourselves. We judge our weaknesses, we resent our challenges, we believe we should be somewhere else, someone else. The magician invites us to lay down our weapons. He asks us to sit by the river of our life, to watch its flow, and to appreciate the banks that give it shape. In that quiet moment of acceptance, something magical happens. The struggle ceases and a new clarity emerges. From this place of acceptance, you can begin to see your limits not as enemies, but as teachers. What is this situation trying to show me? What strength is this challenge asking me to develop? The bank of the river doesn't just contain the water, it strengthens the flow. A difficult relationship might be teaching you compassion. A tight budget might be teaching you resourcefulness. A physical ailment might be teaching you patience and self-care. When you stop fighting the limit and start listening to it, you enter into a dialogue with life itself. This is the beginning of the magician's dance. The modern world often pits freedom against discipline. It tells us that to be free we must cast off all restraint. But the magician knows this is a false choice. He understands that true freedom is not the absence of structure, but the mastery of it. He shows us that discipline and freedom are not opposites. They are dance partners. One cannot exist without the other. Discipline creates the container, the defined space. Freedom is the creative, joyful movement that happens within that space. One provides the form, the other provides the fire. Consider a ballet dancer. Her movements seem effortless, free and transcendent. She appears to defy gravity, but this freedom is the result of thousands of hours of disciplined practice. She has mastered the strict, limiting rules of her art form. She has trained her body to hold specific positions, to follow a precise rhythm. It is this very discipline that gives her the strength, control and technique to express pure emotion through movement. Her discipline did not kill her creativity, it gave it wings. Her limits became her power. This is the secret of the magician. This principle applies to all creative endeavors. A poet who masters the strict limitations of a sonnet, the 14 lines, the specific rhyme scheme, the iambic pentameter, can create a work of breathtaking beauty and emotional depth. The rules do not imprison her thoughts, they focus them. They force her to be more inventive with her language, to find the perfect word, to distill her message into its most potent form. The structure becomes a channel for a deeper current of inspiration. The discipline of the form allows the freedom of the soul to shine through. In our own lives, we can apply this wisdom. When we feel overwhelmed by chaos or a lack of direction, the answer is not more freedom. It's often the gentle application of discipline. A simple morning routine, a commitment to a daily creative practice, a structured plan for a project. These small acts of discipline create a rhythm. They build a container for your energy. They clear the mental clutter, allowing your natural creativity and intuition to flow more freely. Discipline is not your jailer. It is the trusted steward of your own brilliant, untamed energy. You know, the magician sees every limitation as an alchemical vessel. In ancient alchemy, the vessel, or alembic, was this sealed container where base materials were heated, pressurized, and transformed into gold. The process, well, it couldn't happen in the open air. It required containment, it required pressure, it required the right kind of limits. Our life challenges, they are our personal alembics. They are the sealed containers where the universe applies the heat and pressure necessary to transform the lead of our fears and doubts into the gold of our wisdom and strength. Think of a diamond. It's one of the most beautiful and resilient substances on Earth. But how is it formed? It's formed from simple carbon, subjected to immense heat and unimaginable pressure deep within the Earth. The limitation is the very source of its transformation. Without the crushing weight, without the intense fire, the carbon would remain just carbon. It's the struggle against the confines of its environment that organizes a diamond's atoms into a perfect, unbreakable crystalline structure. Our souls, they are like this. Our deepest character is forged in the crucible of our greatest challenges. This is why, running from our problems is never the answer. When we avoid a difficulty, we are stepping out of the alchemical vessel. We are refusing the very process that is meant to refine us. The magician encourages us to stay with the heat, to be present with the pressure. This requires courage. It requires trust. We must trust that the container will not break us, but remake us. The challenges we face are not random punishments. They are perfectly tailored invitations to our own evolution. They are designed to bring forth qualities within us that we did not know we possessed. So when you feel confined, when you feel the pressure building, try to remember the diamond, try to remember the alchemical vessel. Ask yourself, what is being forged in me right now? Is it patience? Is it resilience? Is it compassion? Is it a new kind of creativity? See the limitation not as something that is happening you, but as something that is happening you. It is the sacred container for your own becoming. By embracing the process, you become a conscious participant in your own alchemy, turning the struggles of today into the radiant strength of tomorrow. The magician's wisdom is not just for grand philosophical ideas. It is, honestly, a practical tool for everyday life. One of the most powerful ways to use this magic is by setting healthy boundaries. A boundary is, a conscious limitation. It is you defining the edges of your own sacred space. Saying no to a request that drains you is not selfish. It is an act of magic. You are preserving your energy. You are honoring your own capacity. You are telling the universe and yourself that your well-being matters. A healthy boundary is like putting a fence around a beautiful garden to protect it from being trampled. Another practical application is to embrace realism when solving problems. Often we get stuck because we are dreaming of a solution that is impossible right now. We want to wave a wand and make the problem disappear. The magician is more grounded. He assesses the real, tangible limits of the situation. What resources do I actually have? How much time is truly available? Who can realistically help me? By acknowledging the constraints, you stop wasting time on fantasy and start working with what is real. This is where true creativity begins. The most elegant solutions often arise from working cleverly within tight constraints. This is the magic of enough. In a world that constantly tells us we need more, the magician finds freedom in recognizing what is sufficient. This could be in your finances, your possessions, or your ambitions. By defining your own enough, you create a container of contentment. You step off the endless treadmill of desire. This limitation, freely chosen, brings an incredible sense of peace and liberation. It allows you to appreciate what you have and to use your resources with intention and joy, rather than constantly striving for an ever-receding horizon of more. Start small. Choose one area of your life where you feel scattered or overwhelmed. It could be your time, your social commitments, or your digital life. Now create one simple, conscious limitation. Maybe you decide to check email only twice a day. Maybe you commit to one night a week with no social plans. Maybe you define a clear budget for your spending. This small act is a spell. It is you acting as the magician of your own life, drawing a sacred circle. Watch how this simple container changes the flow of your energy. Watch how it creates space for what truly matters to you. Every great power has a shadow, and the shadow of limitation is the feeling of being trapped. It is the victim consciousness. This is when the container no longer feels like a supportive vessel, but like a cold iron cage. In this shadow, we feel helpless. We believe our circumstances define us completely. We forget our creative power. The bars of the cage seem solid and real, and we spend our days rattling them in frustration and despair. We tell ourselves stories of why we can't. I can't because I don't have enough money. I can't because of my family. I can't because I'm not smart enough. The magician knows this shadow intimately. He has felt the cold iron of the cage, but he also knows the way out. The way out is not to break the bars. The way out is to change your relationship to them. The key is creativity. The victim sees only the bars. The magician sees the space between the bars. He knows that even in the most restrictive situation, there is always a space for choice. There is always a space for a new thought, a new perspective, a creative response. The cage is only a cage if you believe it is. The escape begins in your mind. It begins with a question. Instead of saying I can't, the magician asks, how can I? How can I create what I want within these limits? This simple shift in language is a powerful act of magic. It transforms you from a passive victim into an active creator. It acknowledges the limitation, but it doesn't give it the final say. It re-engages your imagination. Perhaps you can't afford a big vacation, but how can you create an adventure close to home? Perhaps you can't change your job right now, but how can you find one small aspect of it to make more meaningful? This is how you dissolve the shadow of the cage. With small, consistent acts of creative defiance, you use the bars of the cage as a ladder. You find a new way to sing your song, even if the space is small. The moment you choose your response, the moment you inject your own creativity into a situation, the cage begins to dissolve. It was never made of iron, you see. It was made of your own limiting beliefs. By exercising your creative power, no matter how small the action, you remember your own freedom. You remember that you are the magician, not the prisoner. Ultimately, the magician's dance with limits is about finding our place in the harmony of the whole. The universe is a grand symphony, and every single part has its role to play. Every law of physics, every ecosystem, every person has a set of inherent limits and potentials. These are not flaws. They are the unique notes we're here to contribute. A violin is not a drum, it is not meant to be. Its beauty lies in being a violin. Its limits, its strings, its wooden body are precisely what allow it to produce its exquisite sound. When we accept our own nature, our own limits, we find our true note. This understanding leads to a deep sense of justice and balance. When we respect our own boundaries, we naturally learn to respect the boundaries of others. We understand that every person, every culture, and every living thing has its own sacred space. We stop trying to make everything conform to our own way of being. We begin to appreciate the rich diversity of life. The magician knows that true harmony does not come from everyone singing the same note. It comes from each part singing its unique note in concert with all the others. This is the foundation of a just and compassionate world. This is also how we make real, lasting change in the world. Grandiose plans that ignore the real-world limits of resources, human nature, and ecosystems are doomed to fail. They are like a river trying to flow without banks. They create a mess and go nowhere. Real magic, the magic that heals our planet and our communities, is grounded. It works with what is. It respects the slow, patient processes of nature. It introduces small, intelligent changes within the existing system. The magician is a gentle gardener, not a demolition crew. He knows that sustainable growth happens within a framework of respect for all of life's intricate boundaries. By learning to see the magic in limits, we align ourselves with the creative intelligence of the cosmos itself. We move from a state of struggle to a state of flow. We stop seeing life as a series of problems to be conquered and start seeing it as a beautiful dance to be joined. We find our rhythm. We honor the rhythm of others. We learn to play our part in the great orchestra of being. This is the ultimate gift of the magician, the peace that comes from knowing your place, honoring your form, and contributing your unique magic to the harmony of the whole. The magician is not a distant figure in a pointed hat. He is not a fantasy character. He's an archetype that lives within you. He is the part of your own consciousness that is endlessly creative, resourceful, and wise. He is the voice that whispers, "There is another way." He is the spark of ingenuity that helps you make a delicious meal from the few ingredients left in your cupboard. He is the resilience that allows you to find joy even on a difficult day. This magician energy is your birthright. It is waiting for you to acknowledge and embrace it. Your life right now, with all its challenges and circumstances, is the perfect stage for your inner magician to perform. Do not wait for the conditions to be perfect. Do not wait until you have more money, more time, or fewer problems. The magic happens now, within the very limits you face. Your limitations are the props. Your challenges are the plot. Your creative response is the magical act itself. Each day offers you a new opportunity to step into this power, to transform a moment of frustration into a moment of invention. To begin, simply cultivate curiosity. When you meet a boundary, instead of hitting it with your fist, touch it with curiosity. Ask it questions. What are you here to teach me? What new skill can I learn from you? How can you make me stronger? This simple shift from resistance to curiosity opens up a world of possibility. It is the secret handshake that lets your inner magician know it's time to come out and play. He thrives on puzzles. He delights in constraints. He loves nothing more than finding a clever way through a seemingly impossible situation. So let this be your invitation. See the world through the magician's eyes. See the riverbanks that guide your flow. Hear the music made possible by the frets on the guitar. Feel the sacred pressure that is forging the diamond of your soul. Your limits are not your enemies, they are your collaborators. They are the silent partners in your own unique magic trick. Embrace them, dance with them, and create with them, for within the elegant container of your own life lies all the power and all the magic you will ever need. The show is about to begin.